What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Broke Man Finance, a finance channel where Adam and I give our honest opinions about certain stocks we like and that we don't like. So at the end of the day, it helps you possibly make the best decision when it comes to your hard-earned money as you invest it into the stock market. The year of 2020 has been filled with ups and downs, as many of us already are aware of. And Virgin Galactic stock hasn't been any different. With test flights this year and steps in a positive direction, their stock price has seen an overall increase of 127% so far this year alone. A year overall that just excited us as investors, but also disappointed us because there was multiple delays this year with those test flights. And if you're not already aware, just this past week, Space suffered yet another disappointing setback when it had to abort its most recent test flight. The VSS Unity, Virgin's newest SpaceShipTwo vehicle, launched back on December 12th. But when it hit around 50,000 feet, the spaceship's onboard rocket systems failed to ignite properly. Pilots ultimately had to abort the test flight, and they landed safely and let the engineers start diagnosing what exactly failed or what exactly caused the issue. The good news is it was a connection issue with the propulsion computer system and not a major safety issue. Although while we as investors want it to continue to be successful and continue to see that stock price increase, most of us generally are grateful it was a non-safety issue and nothing more severe happened. But as expected, an aborted test flight caused a massive dip to occur following that, with the stock price going from the mid-30s to right now around the mid-20s. Then as that wasn't bad enough, the stock dropped even more and remained low this past week when the company filed to register shares. The registration includes up to 8 million shares upon the exercise of the warrants that were issued in connection with a private placement. After this news, the shares of Virgin was down to $22.59 that day. Then it seemed matters got even worse when Lockheed Martin announced it's buying the rocket engine company Aerojet Rocketdyne for $4.4 billion, boosting its propulsion capabilities amid competition from SpaceX for U.S. contracts. This caused the stock price for Virgin Galactic to kind of drop or trade even lower based on this news, because Lockheed Martin is obviously getting into the rocket engine company, and they see that this is a market competing with SpaceX, competing with Virgin Galactic for those U.S. contracts, as well as potential their own version of space travel based off the rumors coming from this company. So with all the turmoil surrounding this company the past couple of weeks, the couple setbacks that they've experienced with the aborted test flight, the company filing to register its shares, and then Lockheed Martin announcing they was getting into the rocket engine company, it obviously has caused some investors to be concerned, and it's caused some people who own Virgin Galactic to sell off their shares and capture that profit while they believe they still have a good chance to do that. But with all the negativity, there's also a silver lining. And I don't look at myself or other people that I trade stocks with. I look at people that have made billions of dollars in the market when you see some negative news surrounding a company like this. And it comes to mind as no other than Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett had a quote that he come up with several years ago, and it says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." So overall, now I'm going to share with you why I'm buying as much Virgin Galactic stock as I can right now moving forward, because it is really kind of bottom out based off the negative news. It hasn't really dropped any more since then, and I think with another test flight being scheduled, and obviously a successful test flight, this stock is going to see such a huge increase that no one can really put a tag on it. So Space has a 52-week high of around $42 a share, and really this come after its first successful test flight earlier in the year. Of course, we've seen it settle down between that test flight and when this last test flight was scheduled. Now looking ahead, a repeat of this failed test flight is obviously next on the list. After they finish analyzing and correcting the computer connection, another test flight is in the near future, according to their CEO. Although there isn't a set test date as of yet, the CEO stated they would start looking at weather windows in the near future. I would imagine this would be sometime early into the new year, depending on when the good weather window opens up. Obviously, this test flight that was just aborted was one of 3 official test flights before they opened it up to commercial flights. This test flight was supposed to happen back in November, but with the delays, it got pushed back to December. Of course, it was all about the rocket power test flight, which failed to ignite properly, and the reason why they aborted the flight. The next test flight is scheduled to be somewhat in Q1 of 2021. Obviously, this may push to the right because of the first test flight being pushed or repeat back sometime in January, hopefully, where 4 employees is supposed to be in the cabin and they're supposed to do another rocket power test flight. If these 2 test flights go well, the third and hopefully final test flight is going to include none other than Sir Richard Branson's first space flight, where it's going to be a big media ordeal. And if everything goes well with him being in this test flight, obviously they're going to start opening up to passengers, and this stock is set to take off. No pun intended. And then, of course, after Richard Branson's test flight, Virgin Galactic has created a waiting list with the initiative called One Small Step, introduced back in February, where potential customers paid a $1,000 deposit to be first in line when ticket sales resume. The CEO said that nearly 900 people so far have signed up for the One Small Step program, which will be closed at the end of the year. Prior to that, Virgin had been charging around $250,000 per ticket before it halted its ticket sales. Think of it this way: 900 people has already signed up and made that $1,000 deposit. Let's take that 900 people and potentially times it by $250,000. As the first couple of years roll on, Virgin is poised to bring in a tremendous amount of revenue for this company, which is in need of revenue and in need of getting this thing up and going and to be successful. This, in my opinion, is one of the highest risk stocks you can buy right now in the stock market. Of course, you can invest in Tesla and they can have a slow production month, they can have a battery issue, and investors leave the company, consumers quit buying the product. Amazon could have a big issue. We see Facebook with their lawsuits with the different states and US government where it affects the stock price. However, Virgin is totally different. One fatal mishap or one huge safety issue regarding these test flights, or if they start flying commercial with customers, and this stock will literally crash and burn, potentially leaving millions of investors, including myself, with massive losses. However, as we all know, in most cases, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And if everything goes successful and you're an investor with Virgin Galactic, this stock has the potential to make a lot of people filthy rich. A friend of mine has a quote he uses. He says, "Scared money doesn't make money," meaning you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself in a risky position if you want to reap those higher rewards. And Virgin Galactic is none other. Like I mentioned before, I don't know how riskier you can get with your money other than investing in this company. But I believe in the company. I like the direction it's going overall, which I'm talking about in a minute. And I think for me, I'm going all in. I'm buying as many shares as I can right now on this dip, because if they have that successful test flight, there's no valuation or percentage that we can really put on this company on how far it can increase. So overall, here's why I like the direction of the company moving forward and what they can offer to us as investors as far as appreciation and revenue growth. So overall, the ability to commercialize space travel and to receive profits or revenue from that really puts them in a position that I don't think any true analyst could put a true value on it or price tag on it, because it's never been done. We're not competing with like Walmart to Amazon. This is something that is so innovative, so new, that it's hard to put a good price tag on what can happen with it. The CEO, who took over as chief executive in July after a long career at Disney, described in their most recent earnings call a long-term vision of flying around 400 times a year from Spaceport America, which is the New Mexico location, and then later other spaceports as it comes along, possibly generating $1 billion in annual revenue alone. Although small in comparison to the commercialized potential profits from space travel, Virgin has also went to contracts with NASA, bringing in other forms of revenue. Virgin joins a few other companies with similar commercial contracts with NASA. The agency said in a statement that the contracts are worth a combined $45 million and will involve flying payloads on flights that provide reduced gravity, high altitude environments that will help with the other testing technologies. Overall, I'm still very bullish on this company. I think although if you are a new investor or if you're thinking about getting in as an investor, be prepared obviously for the ups and downs. This stock is very volatile, meaning, as we see with just the aborted test flight, it dropped almost $10 a share. But with the scheduling of a new test flight or the positive step this company announces, we've also seen the stock price increase $5 to $10 a share. So for me, this is a long-term play. You have to think of the 2 to 3 year at least growth moving forward. However, there is an option for a short-term play on this, meaning if you buy in right now on the dip and they have a positive step, just if they announce the next test flight, this stock will probably increase anywhere from 10 to 15% easily in one day. So there obviously is a way to make profit on the short-term play. However, that is my strategy. I don't encourage people to follow that strategy unless you really understand the market and you understand the benefits of day trading. But based on the history of this stock, when this next test flight gets scheduled, I can see the stock price going back into the low 30s. If this test flight is successful, there is no doubt in my mind this stock price will hit the mid 50s moving forward, if not even higher. Again, it's hard to put a valuation or a projection on where the stock will go because you don't have anything to compare it to. That's it for me today, guys. I would love to see your comments in the comment section below. As always, thanks for stopping by the channel and supporting us. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next video.